Welcome back to another episode of the Navy Wrestling Club podcast. Today, we're going to be joined by freshman Nick Treaster from Newton, Kansas, who just dominated in his first home duel in Alumni Hall, his first home match this past weekend against American, finishing the match with a score of, what did he get? 13-1 against Cohen Bainey of American. We just finished up finals for the semester. The team has gone home to spend Christmas break with their families. So wanted to get Nick's thoughts on the duel and how his break's going, finals, learn a little bit about his freshman year so far. And then the guys will come back just before the new year to wrestle at the Soldier Salute. But let's get Nick on the call. What is going on, dude?
What's up? How are you?
How are you? How is being home?
It feels great.
Yeah.
Kind of weird a little bit, but it feels good overall. Just kind of comfy, I guess. Comfy.
You can put your feet up for a second, let your hair down.
Yeah.
You haven't been home really a lot the last year and a half. Yeah.
No, and I didn't go back home for Thanksgiving this year or last year. So I really haven't been home very much at all. This summertime I was here for quite a long time, but that was about it.
The summertime you were? I guess you finished your finals at AAC May? Yeah,
end of May. But then I guess I saw my parents a lot because then they came down for commissioning week for Grant's graduation. Then I went back home with them, and then from May until end of June I was back home, and for me that was a lot because I wasn't seeing them much anyway at the time. So
yeah, well, good, man. I'm glad you got home. I'm sure it did. Did your brothers make it home as well?
Yeah. Grant actually drove from Pensacola down here to Kansas. Actually surprised my family because he told them that he was going to show up at a later date, but then he surprised my sister and dad at the wrestling tournament that she was at. And yeah, it was kind of funny.
And Logan, he lives at home, right?
Yeah.
While he's going to school.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Logan lives here, and he goes to KU Med School.
Yeah. How much more?
It's only a 20-minute drive from here, so it's perfect.
How much school does he have left?
He should have about a year and a half left of medical school.
Year and a half left. Obviously you and I know what you're talking about, but for those who are jumping in and listening, Logan, class of 21, Nick's older brother, is doing the medical program after commissioning. And what did you say, a year and a half left?
Yeah, a year and a half left. Yeah.
So he's got a year and a half left, and he'll be a doctor, and he'll get to do his naval service as a doctor. Not sure what the payback is on that, but I know it's a very competitive thing to get selected for out of the academy, and those are your aspirations as well, right?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. But I also have an open mind to other options as well.
Marine Corps ground. No, I'm just playing. And your dad was subs, right?
No, he went to flight school.
That's right.
Yeah, flight school, and then he was involved in SOSIS at the time.
Yeah,
in the water is how he describes it.
So talk to me a little bit about the legacy, the Treaster legacy, I guess. Was Navy the only thing you wanted to do, and how much influence was that from your dad and your brothers, or was it just this is what my family does, this is what we've always done, and this is what I got to do, or is it no, this is actually what I want, and this was the plan, this is the only place I applied to, and so yeah, just tell your story.
Basically, my recruiting process.
Well, no, I mean, it's not like you're just this kid who had never heard of the Naval Academy and heard of Kerry Colat and been oh, okay, yeah, Kerry Colat's at the Naval Academy, I want to go wrestle for Kerry Colat. No, your dad went here and your two older brothers went here. So, was that always the plan? Or, how much I guess how much did the family legacy influence your decision, or was it something you just like independently were like, no, this is actually what I want to do?
It was definitely independent. Like, this is actually what I want to do. Because originally, when I thought Navy, like, I was like, I don't want to do that because both my brothers have gone there and my dad went there. I want to be different. I want to
Mhm.
do something that separates myself from them and like is original. But I like throughout the recruiting process, like I always knew I wanted to keep Navy like on the list somewhere. Like I knew I wanted to keep them and I wanted to go see it and like see what they had to offer. But I wasn't like very serious about it in the beginning. But the
Really?
more I talked to the coaching staff, the more like when I actually went there, I could actually see myself there. And comparing it to other schools that I was looking at, like some of the Ivies,
Yeah.
there seemed like there was more honor in like
Mhm.
going to Navy compared to those schools. Like maybe a lot, maybe like not the average person would choose like the route that I picked, but I chose the route I picked because I felt like at the end of the day, I'm doing something that's gonna uh, have more pride in what I'm doing, and I'm gonna be a part of something that's bigger than myself, and there's gonna be more honor with the decision I make. Yeah, so
Yeah. No, I think that's especially for a 17, 18-year-old, it's a premature decision. And I mean, I'm sure you obviously knew a little bit about what this place was, really about, um, more so than most, guys who come here. But um, where else did you apply / were you getting looked at from other schools? You mentioned some Ivies, but like, what were other schools that you had considered?
like Harvard and Princeton were like the other two schools that I was like really really considering. Um, and but at the end of the day, I knew that like Navy was where I wanted to be because not only did it have this incredible like wrestling program, but just the
Yeah.
school in and of itself and like post wrestling, like I mean, wrestling's not forever. Um, I knew it was gonna set me up for success for the future, and when I look back on everything I get to do here and get to be a part of, it was gonna make me the most proud of everything that I got to go through.
Yeah. There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself, man. I think, you know, I've it's been 10 years post graduation for me, and I would say, with each passing year, that pride only grows deeper. As you kind of get older and start entering your career. Um, the friends that you're gonna make over the next 3.5 years now. Um, those friend groups get smaller and smaller, and they get like tighter and tighter, and you just have the pride for the stuff that you guys have endured over the span of the 4 years at the academy, and then whatever career you choose to do. And it just gets stronger and stronger. And I think that's why the pride for the program and institution really continues to grow. And that's why these reunions that you see at football games every year, it's like that you see these old alumni guys, they're still going crazy. And the older they are, the crazier they get almost.
Yeah,
But
those reunions are something else.
yeah,
It's pretty cool to see.
you kind of mentioned it. This place is just different than other Ivies, other universities. Like, obviously I know, but there's people that listen to this that don't really know what you do on a day-to-day basis, as a plebe, especially. Like, why is your life different than your high school best friend that decided to go to KU? Like, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis that differentiates your life from the normal 19-year-old that's going to another school?
I think it's just like the amount of responsibilities that we have. Like, um, we're given so many tasks to do, like on a week to week basis. Like, and we've got to figure out how to complete each one of those tasks while still performing at a high level in all other areas that we're involved in.
Mhm.
And not to say that people don't have a lot of responsibilities at other like universities, but they like increase this kind of like pressure on you. There's always pressure like when you walk into Bancroft, like you have to always be performing at a high level. And the upperclassmen hold you to higher standards as a plebe. Like you have certain rules that you have to follow that you don't have to follow when you're an upper class, but as a plebe you do. You have these extra um, rules like chopping or squaring your corner, greeting upperclassmen, calling people sir or ma'am, plebing your cover. You just always have to be on. And if you're not on and they notice it, then they'll call you out on it. And then you got to correct yourself. And you've got to be quick to make corrections and fix your mistakes. And then on top of all that, like, school is like you go through your school day and then, you wrestle and then you go right back to your studies. You got to grab food and then you get back to your studies again. And then you rinse and repeat every day. And that's just kind of the grind.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I think everything you just listed on top of being a Division I athlete, and then being, the number one public school in the country, like you said, there's a lot of responsibility and a lot of things that you're expected to do and expected to do at the highest level possible. One of the things that I always, it's incredible, but it's also, I think, intimidating for a lot of people. And I think you can probably speak to this personally. Being a 4-time state champion, you were, I'm assuming, a 4.0 student in high school. Incredible GPA. Were you class president too?
I was not class president. No.
Okay. Well, you were probably, the man in high school, and you go, a lot. No, I'm serious. Like that. I'm not blowing smoke up your butt. I'm just saying, like, and then you go to the Naval Academy and you're immersing yourselves with 1,200 to 1,400 other people who were that same dude in high school or girl. And it's like, okay, everybody's super competitive, very talented, athletic, smart, etc. And that is in itself a difficult transition to, find yourself. You're surrounded by like-minded people, but when you put yourself in that uber competitive environment, people just continue to get better and better and grow and grow. And that's why there's so many, great leaders that come out of the Naval Academy. But, and like you said,
that competitive atmosphere.
Exactly.
Yeah. It just,
like you said, just all the responsibilities that you got to do. And then you've got to learn and lean on the guy and girl to your left and right. And, you mentioned chopping, sir sandwiches, whatever. Like what are some other, huh?
all
Pleading.
plebes.
What's some like specifics exactly? Like some of the stuff that just drives you bananas, but looking forward to getting that stripe next year.
I would say the amount of come arounds you have to do, like,
okay, what's a come around? I don't even remember what that is.
Oh, okay. So for like prono, like the prono
Professional
test
knowledge.
Yeah, the it's not weekly, but it's every other week. We take like these professional knowledge tests on like Navy Marine Corps facts or history.
Mm-hmm.
And having to like take care of all your school, but then you also have this like that you have to test for, and it like goes towards your overall order of merit. Like it matters. That is something that, so you have these squads. You have like these squads that you're designed to in your company at the academy, and you've got your squad leader, you've got your fire team leader, and your youngster mentor, and those three are supposed to help you like throughout the week study for this like test you have to take every other week.
Yeah.
And so once a week you have to meet with each one of those people, and that can range anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour and a half where they just quiz you, and that just takes up time. So when you don't have to worry about those come arounds, you get more free time. And once you become a youngster, you don't have you've only got to meet once instead of 3 times. So or you only have to meet 3 times, yeah.
Well, it depends how many plebes, I guess, are in your squad or who's your plebe or whatever.
Yeah, but your time becomes more geared towards what you need to do rather than like what you have to study for prono. And so you have to take like a prono thing at the end of the semester, but it's not so frequent. I don't like it. It's just a plebe task or whatever that you have to do. Also, changing rooms, that sucks.
How often do you do that?
We do it, I think, so we've done it twice this semester. We did it at the beginning. We did it right after plebe summer, and then we did it again, and then we did it right before kind of semester ended.
Did you change roommates too, or was it just to mess with you? Okay.
Yeah, changed roommates, changed rooms. I kept one of my roommates for the second switch. But just changing rooms takes a while, and to get everybody coordinated, you've got 30-ish plebes in your company, and you've got to coordinate with all of them to move rooms at like the exact same time so that it can move efficiently, and it never does. So then you're waiting on Timmy or whoever to get your desk reserved so it's open and you can move your stuff there and not leave stuff out in the hallway to get in trouble for.
Gear adrift, man.
Yeah, gear adrift.
And I know this has changed since I've graduated, but there's 36 companies, correct?
Yeah, now there's 36, yeah.
And you're in what company?
I'm in 12th.
You're in 12th. Ooh. Yeah, Wolfpack. I was a Tiger. I was right below you guys. 7-0.
What company?
11. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Foxtrot, man.
You were Foxtrot. I was golf.
Oh. Yeah, golf. They changed it all up, but yeah, Foxtrot was 11.
No, it's all weird. They had to combine like 11 and 12 was together. For plebe summer, like that was my sister company 11, but they like combine like 33rd company and like 14th or something like that, right? So they had to include the 31 through 36 in like the other companies. It wasn't just like 31 and 32 were together and 33 and 34. So yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So I think 33rd battalion or 33rd company is in 3rd battalion.
Weird.
But 34th company is in like 4th battalion.
Weird. So like 31st is in 1st, 32nd in 2nd.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. I think that's how they ended up doing it.
Interesting. So after plebe year, will you go to a different company? Will you shotgun out, or will you stay in 12?
No, that's supposed to be what happens. I mean, I know Grant's year, his after his plebe year, they completely shotgun, like his entire company got changed. He had new company mates after that. But normally you stay with the same people, right? I mean, is that what happened with you?
No, I was an 11. I was an 11 for 4 years. I stayed with my.
You didn't shotgun at all.
No.
Okay. Yeah. The plebes. So I this is what's supposed to happen. I think every one of my classmates in my company, we all stay together as a group and we'll go to a different company, and then we'll become youngsters within that company and we'll stay with that company the rest of our time.
Got it.
Grant's year, this was like a COVID thing. They like completely shotgun the entire class. So everybody in the entire plebe class got completely mismatched to a different company. And so I know my brother didn't necessarily love that, but I think he was fine.
Yeah.
With it.
I think I would. I like how it worked out for us. Like we had a good company, so yeah. I enjoyed. I think the purpose of shotgunning, or at least removing the plebes, is like, okay, the relationship that you have with the second class that's been yelling at me for 12 months, like that doesn't really matter next year. I think that's the purpose. Like, you don't have to worry about some guy who, was yelling at you for this long and then I can start fresh with some new upperclassmen the next year. Like your reputation as a plebe doesn't really carry over.
Yeah.
I think that's the point, but like it worked out for me where we just had a good company. It didn't really matter. But
yeah, that would be kind of weird because I think it's more of like they've had this power, like this authority over you,
yeah,
for the year because they're upper class, and so it makes it easier to adjust to, okay, I'm no longer a plebe, I'm actually an upper
yeah,
class now.
yeah. You're probably spot on. Okay, what about chow calls? What the heck is a chow call?
Well, a chow call is like before every formation, you and sometimes of end of liberty, all the plebes line up in the hallways and they'll be on all like the corner or like the deck plates. They're like these silver square markings in like the hallways, and you'll line up in like a 4-person like unit, I guess, and you'll yell some rate or this like long speech that tells what time formation goes, where it goes, what the menu for the day is, or for the meal is, and who the officer of the watch is, the staff duty officer, and then any important like things for the week. You also and you'll do that every minute, or once every minute on the minute for 10 minutes, 10 to yeah, it would be 8 to 10 minutes, right? So like you start at minute 15 and you go every minute on the minute until 7 minutes or 5 minutes, depending on where the formation is set up, because you have to have time to get there.
Yeah.
So that's annoying. But I don't always do it because we'll sometimes have wrestling practice during formation. So
Yeah. No, that was always my favorite were the chow calls. What's the best part of being at the Naval Academy for you so far?
it's the people, for sure. Like everybody always says it, but the people is what makes like the place so special, honestly. Because the place is hard. It's meant to be hard. It's meant to be challenging, but like the people to your left and right are the people who like make it such a great place. You go through hard times, like just in plebe summer, for example. Like the reason why you get so close to the people in your company, is plebes, because you have to do like annoying tasks with one another, and it's stuff that you look back on that you look back on and you can joke about it, and it's fun. It's good times, and you build like a really strong community with those around you. And that's just people in your company, and then the wrestling team, that's a whole other thing. Like, and those are the people that you really put in a lot of time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears into, and those are the people you get really close to.
Yeah. You've kind of hit on this, but like relationships when you're going through adversity together, I think as wrestlers, like you can definitely relate to that really well. And certainly anybody who's served in the military, I think also would agree. You go through some of these trials, and those are the people that you form some pretty special bonds with. So, when you say, hey, the people are the best part about this place, I that's probably the only answer that makes sense, because the whole time you're there is like challenge after challenge after challenge. But when you're doing it, obviously it sucks. But then when you're done, you look back, even plebe summer, that just happened for you, but it's like that was awesome. Like during plebe summer, I met my roommate. This dude's great. I met his family. Like his family's incredible. Those types of things in the moment, and same with wrestling practice. Like nobody, in the moment, wrestling, cutting weight and all that stuff, it sucks. But then you look back, even on this weekend, you cut an extra 2.5 pounds the day of, but like, hey, you wrestled your butt off against American. You beat the brakes off that dude, and the extra 2.5 pounds, like, okay, like that was definitely worth it. Like I wrestled in full form for 7 minutes and something clicked.
Yeah, that was just extra conditioning for fun.
Yeah, it was just training. But yeah, those are the things that like you look back on, and the people you do it with is what matters, you know. So I couldn't agree more. I just didn't know if you had a different perspective about that, but I certainly would agree about the people. Okay, so American. Um, as I mentioned earlier, like you've been around training for a year and a half now in the room, but that was your first time strapping up in alumni and getting like your first home duel.
Felt awesome.
Yeah, yeah, long time coming. Was it? How, you didn't look nervous to me, but how did you feel? Were you anxious at all? Like, were you thinking about that stuff? Like, what was? Because you looked like it clicked, man. You know, you've been busting your butt, and it looked like it.
I was obviously nervous, but I mean, I'm nervous before every match. I've always been, like, no matter how good or bad the opponent on the other side is, I just always have some sort of nerves, and I think that part of that's a good thing because it means that I care. But I wanted to perform well. I mean, I knew it was going to be my first match at Alumni, and I want to start it off. I was also thinking, like, this is the last match I'll get to wrestle in 2024. I want to end it off on a good one.
True.
And going into the new year, I wanted a good match to end on before I headed home for Christmas. And I've been putting in a lot of, like, time on the mat trying to make certain adjustments to my wrestling. Really try and figure out my own style of wrestling because I feel like getting into college, I really haven't like developed my own sense of style. Like I know I got a wide range of arsenal of like stuff I know. Like my technique is pretty broad, I feel like, but like what actually is my stuff and to like make it my own. That's what I've been really trying to figure out. And I feel like I've actually been, accomplishing a lot of that lately. And yesterday was me trying to display that out there and like actually take control of a match and make it my match.
You definitely did, and I know you. One of the things you've been emphasizing a lot is like your hand fight, and like you like sprinted up to the line, whistle blew, and like right there.
Yeah, because Colette has been like on me like first contact, like initiate. You gotta just get in there. And not only that, but when I did do that in the match, it felt like I got that first club. Like I got that first contact. Okay, I'm good. I'm ready to wrestle.
Yep.
Like,
it wakes you up.
It really did. Because sometimes when you're like hanging out on the outside in the beginning, you're kind of like trying to feel the other guy out, but it felt like it just was gone as soon as I made contact. Everything was like I was able to wrestle, and so I like that, and I've been doing that a lot in the room. I've been just trying to like condition my entire wrestling to that just immediate. Let's start hand fighting. Because I mean, I said this to you, and you actually mentioned something about this, like at Las Vegas. You were like, Coach Barnett. He told you like what he liked about you so much was that you were willing to go to war with anyone, and I really liked that. So I thought about that, and I was like, I want someone to just hate wrestling me, like no matter who it is. They're just gonna hate wrestling me for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And just hand fight them to death, I guess. And then start opening stuff up. Once I've worn them down or whatever that may be. Yeah. But yeah, I yesterday that was like my entire mindset. And that's actually been probably the biggest change for me in these recent last few weeks coming from Vegas.
Yeah, I think I mean, yeah, like it looked like you were free out there. You were just doing whatever you wanted to do. You were doing it at will. And I think it starts, like you said, like with your hand fighting, it sends a message off the whistle, and yeah, you were able to get to whatever you wanted to. I mean, you won in every area of the match. You took him down, you reversed him, you got back, you turned him, so like I think a lot of that can be derived from the intensity that you brought off the whistle. So that's good, man. I'm glad you're building on that style and you're building on that arsenal and you're becoming more comfortable in certain situations and your approach, because that's what it looked like, and this break, it's not a long break, but getting home, seeing your family, kind of hitting a not a reset or necessarily a pause, but giving your body a little bit of rest and recovery and giving yourself a little bit of physical and mental space to refocus on the second semester and the back half of this year, will do you some good. Hopefully, like you said, ending this year on a win, or the duel. You're going to Soldier Salute, so
Yep.
we'll still huh?
Yes, it's not my last match of the year.
Yeah, well, last match at home. We'll say that.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I kind of just mentally, I was like, that's the next year.
Yeah, well, because you're going home, like you said,
Yeah.
I'm saying, you're not resetting. You're just kind of like going back to refocus a little bit, and that certainly was a match that I would recommend watching a couple times before we see again. Before you like compete again, because those are remind yourself what you're feeling before you walked out there. Remind yourself of that first club, like, and getting to that first shot and really seeing how everything connected together so fluidly. But yeah, man, anything else? I feel like I've already taken too much of your time. I know you got a bunch to do today. Your family probably is like, what the heck, Nick? You just left that place. Why are you talking to Coach Walsh right now? But yeah, like anything you else want to share? I wanted to get you on to get your plebe perspective. I know there's some family history and traditions and legacy involved with the Naval Academy and the Treaster family. And then you just look so tough on Saturday, dude. Like I had to kind of see where your headspace was at and what you thought was the difference. So I appreciate all that, you appeasing my questions, but is there anything you want to bring up or mention?
No, I mean, like, I know I talked about how, like, plebe year is tough, but it's like, I can feel like it's developing me into like a better person, honestly. Like, it's tough, but it's like helping me be better at time management and making sure I get stuff done. I mean, you've got to be a lot more independent and use your resources, like, and so yeah, I appreciate like how tough it's been, but it's actually been helping me, and I think it's been helping me even in the wrestling side of things as well, because I mean, school is hard and wrestling is hard, and they're both like pushing me to be a better person, and I feel like it is doing that. So I'm grateful for it. I'm really grateful to be at the academy.
Good, man. And I'm excited to watch you continue to get better and compete for another 3.5 years. Well, man, hey, thanks for jumping in. Thank you for your time. I hope you and your family have a safe and Merry Christmas. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks for having me on here.
Yep.
It's cool. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.